Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to make some few submissions on the report that was produced by the BBC Africa. At first, we thought that Kenyans were safe, but unfortunately, it's coming out clear that nobody is safe in this country, as seen in the report and in the video that was released by BBC Africa. And after scrutinizing and analyzing the events that happened on 25th June, it is clear that our men in uniforms were misused, and they must have picked guidance from the wrong sources and take orders which were not supposed to be. I want to say that those members of parliament, some who are saying that the BBC should be closed down and shouldn't be allowed to air anything regarding this country, I want to tell you that this is a country of democracy, and that BBC is not a local TV station that you will gag like you are used to gagging media here when they speak the issues that are affecting Kenyans. We applaud the BBC for having done such a tremendous work, and now it is in the public domain, and Kenyans know what happened and who did what, under what instructions, and under what circumstances. We want to advise that those police officers and those men in uniform who have been clearly demarcated to have participated in unlawful killing of those young people action be taken against them. We want to call upon IPOA and any other relevant authority that is charged with a mandate to ensure that justice is served. Those young people died while pushing for a genuine cause, and the government is aware and the government knows those officers in particular. We want to call upon the relevant authority once again to ensure that those men in uniform who are captured on live cameras shooting live bullets on unarmed young people who are just agitating for quality life, for a good environment where everybody can live very well, and they were shot and killed. We want to say that justice must prevail. And I want to remind the men in uniform that this country is for all of us. And there are some issues, including the ones that the Gen Zs were fighting for, which you guys cannot fight for as per your code of conduct and oath that you take. You cannot go to the streets. So when Kenyans are coming out to the streets to agitate for high cost of living, to agitate for good governance, to agitate for free corruption environment and good governance, you should not misuse power and start killing them. These are things that also benefits your family, benefits you, benefits your kids, and benefits even your relatives and family and friends. You have families, you have mothers, you have daughters, you have children in schools. When a young person is agitating for a proper funding model, it is not about themselves. It's about them and even you. When a young person is calling for good governance, it benefits you. If we have a failed regime and the salaries are being taxed left, right, you are not an exception. If we have a failed regime and the health system is not working, you are not an exception. You might think that you are special until the day you'll get sick and realize that indeed SHA cannot treat you. You might think that you are special until the day your mother, your children, your wife will get sick and you realize that they cannot get treatment because SHA has failed. You might think that you are special because your children are in different schools until you fail to pay the school fees. You might think that you are special until one day, out of unemployment, you are attacked by goons. So I want to tell men in uniform that you are not a special gem in this country. We are all Kenyans, and you must treat these issues with decorum and stop being misused. And to the IPOA, you are tasked to ensure that those police officers who misused power are brought to book. We have not seen anything happening since 25th June. You are on the radar of Kenyans. Please take charge and do your responsibility. Take charge and ensure that those police officers work with that documentary that was produced by BBC. It provides clear evidence on how Eric was shot unarmed, in fact, from back. Then it means that that police officer was targeting that young man. You must take responsibility and ensure that it is brought to book so that the family of that young man, Eric, gets justice, the family of Rex Masai, the family of Denzel Omondi, and all other 60 young people who were killed on that day gets justice. Finally, to the regime led by the president, we want to remind you that you cannot lead a nation that do not have people. You are in power because Kenyans voted so that you be in power. You are in power because some Kenyans failed to vote, and that's how you got yourself in power. So your first responsibility is to protect the citizenry of this country. You must protect the Kenyans. You must ensure that no blood is going down because of your mismanagement. And you must be able to listen. Talking about experts, where the taxes are high, Kenyan debts has marked 11.2 trillion. That means that any young person in this country, including a baby who has just been conceived right now, has a debt of 225,000 to pay. And I want to ask fellow Kenyans, if this is 2025, we are talking of each and every person has got a debt of 225,000 to pay. Ask yourself, if we move to 2027, and maybe, God forbid, we move to 2032, each and every person in this country, including unborn baby, will be owing this country about 500,000. These sentiments or these figures might not make sense to you because maybe you are not employed, because maybe you don't care, or maybe you are part of the government, until the taxes gets into your pocket. Everybody is going to pay for it. And we are not going to sit down and watch a regime destroy a country and leave us with that mud on the face to pay. That's what we are saying. We are telling Kenyans, wake up, put this government on radar, question this government, ask questions, do not be bored. We are on the right radar, we are on the right track. Kenya Kwanza regime must either work or shape out.
And maybe just a question, as per the documentary of BBC, what if IPOA doesn't take the action against those police officers that were involved in killing the Gen Zs? Maybe what's your advice? Should Gen Zs go back to street again to demand for justice for the fallen heroes of June 25th?
I would respond by saying that aluta continua. If IPOA, which is mandated with the responsibility of ensuring that justice is, those policies are brought to book, does not do what it should do, then I will rally and call upon young people to demand justice for their soldiers. Demand justice for your fellows. Demand justice for your colleagues. Yesterday it was Eric. Yesterday it was Denzel. Yesterday it was Rex. If you keep quiet today, tomorrow it will be you. Who is going to agitate and demand justice for your family? You should be asking yourself that question. And for the officers in the IPOA, it is your responsibility. One day, if it might be your son, or it might be your daughter, or it might be your relative. So this life is no balance. It might be today somebody else and tomorrow it is you. So when you have the responsibility and you are in office of power, exercise that power to ensure that each and every person is getting justice.
So I've also seen the KDF or the army was involved in this protest, whereby we have seen a certain soldier shooting one of the Gen Zs. And as we know, the military or the army is supposed to guide Kenyans against the external enemies. Maybe what's your point on this?
I think that was a misuse of power, totally misuse of power. And the constitution clearly dictates and clarifies the responsibility and the roles of men in uniform, especially the KDF. And that the buck stops with the minister then, because KDFs can only step out to such and any under certain instructions. Then leaders who are occupying those spaces at that time should take responsibility, including that specific officer, because we cannot have KDF on the streets fighting unarmed citizens, whereas we are having attacks from all corners of the country. If you look at the borders of Somali, borders from where we are having attacks everywhere. So the the minister, the cabinet secretary at that time has a responsibility and should be summoned by the parliament to respond to questions. The parliament also has a responsibility to ensure that they do proper investigation into this matter. Because anyway, like I said, tomorrow it might be the son or daughter to the member of parliament. If they do not agitate and stand with Kenyans today, they should not expect anything from Kenyans when these things befalls them.